people can watch it later. So thanks for joining. Just wanted to take a look. I didn't initially have any agenda, but I may just try to cover one or two things now. All right. So if you could just drop a message, I just want to know, since when have you been in crypto? How long has it been? When did you buy your first crypto? That just gives me idea, I guess. Um, but what I want to do today is kind of keep it plain and simple, as I said. And I want to start talking about technical analysis. But before that, I started with shit, that's fine. Yeah, I started with XRP, and it's not different than SHIB, to be honest. Uh, so I am a technical analyst, kind of, if you ask me. I try to look the markets from technical point of view, but I have been also trying to shift my focus towards learning more about fundamentals since like an year or so. Because I think not technical analysis only may not just work all the time, especially in market like crypto where we have retail investors, and there's a lot of um, sentiment based trading, meaning unlike using like actual technical analysis, there's a lot of sentiment based on Discord. People are sharing things in Discord, and that's how people actually. So this is why it's always good to know TA plus fundamentals, what's happening in the market. To be honest, I don't catch up all the time with the fundamentals. So this is why I have people who do, I follow them. Some you may know, I and Srijan are part of group CTP, Crypto Traders Pro. So that's where most of my updates come from. I'll share the link if you want to join. Uh, it's a slightly expensive one. It costs like $1,000 per year, but if you're active, you won't like. If you're active and you put your efforts in there, uh, you can easily recoup your money within, like, depends, days, weeks, months, whatever. So what I want to start today, let me share my screen, is just looking at how the market cycles have developed for crypto. Can you guys see this? Give me a message. Okay, separate chat. All right. Okay, cool, awesome. So I just wanted to start with how the crypto cycles have developed. Now, I don't know if you have heard this term called Bitcoin halving. Now, I'm relating Bitcoin to crypto market because that's how it all started in 2009. Before that, we obviously had a lot of talk about digital currencies. If you have heard this name, Nick Szabo, who tried to come up with digital gold. But since Bitcoin has been, I guess, more successful for network adoption, and that's what drives everything. Like Facebook wouldn't be Facebook if like just you and me and few college friends joined it, and not the entire world. So that's what's important, network adoption. And because of that, when we talk about crypto, we talk about BTC first, Bitcoin. So what happens is BTC is kind of like king for now, since let's say the start 2012. I guess there was just Bitcoin in 2016, and so Ethereum came. So after that, we have seen like things explode on different application level and functionality level and utility level. But before that, since Bitcoin has dominated, there is a term, there's actually something called Bitcoin dominance. If you have checked this chart before, you will know. Okay, look at this, April 2014, it didn't even exist because there was nothing else. So people like to see this chart just to see what is happening with the dominance, meaning when the dominance falls, that's the time you're hitting alt season, meaning all the alts are pumping. So people like to see this chart, but I'm going to go back again to the chart I was showing is the Bitcoin cycle and talk about Bitcoin halving. And if at all there is a relation between how the cycles have started, how the cycles have ended. So what is Bitcoin halving? Bitcoin works on proof of work. So there are a lot of miners. I won't get into details of mining, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to solve a cryptographic puzzle for those who don't know. And once they do, they, let's say, a block is, let's say, 100 transactions. So all of these miners are trying to solve a puzzle so that they could get transaction fees for that 100 transaction block and reward. So reward is in Bitcoin. So the first halving that took place in 2012 November, at that time reward was around 50 Bitcoin. So if you solve a block, you are getting 50 Bitcoins. And every 4 years, approximately, I mean, to be honest, it kind of varies. 3 year, 8 months, 3 year, 10 months for 2016. Bitcoin rewards is getting half and half. So from 50 to 25, from 25 to 12.5. The recent halving was in 2020. Um, and the next halving is supposed to be in around, let's say, March to May 2024. So what people say that, you know, Bitcoin halving kind of gets Bitcoin or crypto out of the bear market. So I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people talk about this, and that's why it's important to look at from cycles point of view. So if you notice, this was the first halving, and it roughly took some time, top of 2014. Actually, let me just go back here. So Bitcoin halving was in November 2012. The next was in July 2016. It took roughly 1 year, 5 months to get to the top for that cycle. In May 2020, it took roughly 1 year, 6 months to get to the current high we have. So you can see there is some correlation, but I obviously wouldn't put all my money on it because yes, history repeats, but it doesn't have to. That's how I read these charts. That's how I. A lot of people are trying to come up with a lot of comparisons. Uh, that's what I kind of don't like all the time because it's good to keep that in mind. How do I slide this? Okay, good. So stuff like this, people try to predict, okay, that's what's going to happen. And they with such confidence that it just misses the whole point of technical analysis. So no one is paying attention to what this we are doing at this point. Instead, they're trying to have a lot of correlations. They try to correlate with S&P 500. So if I go back to the chart trading view, uh, just hit the thumbs up or something if you still can see. I'm switching between screens. So they try to see, okay, if are we correlated with S&P? So if you can see in 2011 or ish, we had a low on both sides. Then in 2013, we had a high for Bitcoin, but there was no high for S&P. And since last few, I guess, cycles, we're trying to see some correlation because I believe it exists because everything is part of finance. Tomorrow maybe regulations come in and then smart money comes in, meaning institutional investors come in. So everything becomes one. So you can't take crypto out of it. So I would rather trust these correlations rather than trying to predict what's happening after Bitcoin halving. And that's kind of the reason I started this Telegram, because very few people out there on Twitter are talking about the actual charts, uh, what they mean, how they can help us, and instead of trying to just protect macro cycles. Because I had pointed, I was that person like 6 months ago. I was trying to predict macro trend, but just be honest with me, everyone. Like why are we here? We are here to make money, right? We're not here to just make trends. And what I have noticed always is, if you're trying to predict trends, you will run so many models that in the end you'll have that analysis paralysis. So you just don't know, because outcomes are just like infinite, if you ask me. Like everyone will try to come up with something. So this is why I kind of quit doing that macro analysis. But obviously, I like to see where we are. Um, I kind of use few channels. And another important thing is, if you see, I don't know if you all see this chat the way it's showing on mine, because I have log chat turned on. Maybe you see it like this because that's how most people are used to seeing. But given this drop currently, and also if we want to look at, let's say, the entire landscape of crypto, I always turn log charts on, because it's just giving us a better indication, given this crazy range. Like, what was it? In 2013, it was 1,000. Now we are like almost 30,000. So, 30x. So that's why I have it. Um, I just want to show this long-term channel and how it's playing out so well. And again, just be careful with trend lines or channels. They are subjective. Like someone will like to maybe just draw connecting these lows, then it shows entire different story, you know. So they're subjective. Uh, what I try to do is I try to come up with something and see what others have feelings about it. Because in this world, there are, let's say, majority following something, and that's why I like to use somehow for technical analysis, at least, because a lot of people are looking at the same thing. We also say that if everyone's looking at the same thing, it won't hold true. But at least it's giving us some picture. But having said that, if you see, I like this channel. It's fitting perfectly. What it's showing us, that sometimes price move beyond, and it's kind of a great tool, right? To just know where you're in the market in terms of exit. Let's say, for in this example, crypto had a boom in this cycle. So for me, if we're exiting this channel, I'm going to start becoming careful, you know. And this is just looking at price action. I'm not even looking at any indicator to see any divergence or whatnot. So currently, we are still trading within the channel. And on top of that, for short term, I have another channel. So you can see it's kind of approximately working well. So that's what has happened in every bear cycle, right? It has reached the top, it has come to the bottom, or at least has jumped from the middle. Now it has broken the middle level. So what do I see out of this is, whenever something breaks down, I see that as a weak trend, or strong trend for down, weak trend for going up, right? So this is what I'm following currently, and I don't want to predict that what's going to happen, but just given the history, that there's a good chance that we may see the bottom of this channel. And just look at what's the price. Now, for technical analysis, just one item is not sufficient. Just price is not sufficient. You need to look at two or multiple things to see a confluence. That's what people call it. Meaning, you are getting confirmation from multiple, like let's say, tools, right? Now, if you see this line here in blue, that's moving average, 200 weeks. And this yellow line is moving average 15. So if anyone's not familiar, a moving average is a sum of last 200 weeks. And it's plotted as every week passes, you get a new data point. So you can see how we are kind of close to this moving average. We're kind of close to this bottom channel here. We're kind of close to this bottom channel here. So I like this confluence just as far as lines supports are considered. Now, you might say there is no support from the previous highs. So obviously, nothing is absolute in this world, especially in technical analysis. You always kind of should have levels, because it's not gonna just gonna stop at this channel, because it all depends on how you drew this channel, like slight angle. You don't want to miss any entries just by having one line, right? So just in case, imagine this is the previous high from 2017, and that puts us at 19,000. So I'm just trying to show you possibilities of what kind of confluence we see as far as horizontal levels. There was a slight retest of this line, if you see, a slight one. So chances are we may see something like this, we may not see something like this. I wouldn't put my money on anything. I'm just trying to identify where could be the start of the bottom. Maybe the bottom is already in and we are seeing accumulation. But so far, from my experience, look at all these red candles. And typically, if you see all these red candles, so like consecutively, it is likely that a bounce is coming soon. So that again fits into this criteria of confluence, right? We have a lot of confluence that this bottom range could be the bottom, at least locally. It may go down, but that's what I'm kind of looking at. And again, this is weekly. Yusuf, you said, when do you take trade? Yeah, good point. I'll get to that. So I'm kind of just waiting for reversal signals, right? Whenever we are in a downtrend, you could either trade that downtrend, but I wouldn't trade from this point now. I wouldn't try to short the market just because we have been in 7 weeks red. What I'm trying to look is reversal patterns. So to do that, we do something called time frame management, meaning we look at the big picture in bigger time frames. So now this is weekly, right? So that's why we're looking at the big picture and just trying to establish like main lines. Now coming back to daily, let's say we see more fine print. You know, what I like to use to enter the reversal is confluence. As I said, we want to see typically. Let me turn on RSI. Let's see. Let me go back to weekly. We want to see confluence, and volume plays an important role when the bottoms are coming. So in crypto, you may have heard this term capitulation, and look what kind of volume comes near the bottoms. So that is usually a trait of a good bottom, that there is a lot of sell, there is a lot of buy, and what follows after that is even more volume if you combine it, because people are still trying to imagine, okay, this is not bottom, but smart money, they use certain indicators to kind of spread a range, you know that this could be the bottom, and let's start accumulating. So what that accumulation does is it just gives us lot of volume. You see this, there is lot of volume. If we are looking at 2019 cycle, at 4,000 level, at 3,800 level, at 3,600 level. So this is how institutional investors put their money. They accumulate near the bottom. They are not trying to pinpoint the bottom. So this is what we may see. If this is a bottom, or if this is a local bottom, there will be few short-term holders trying to long from here. Again, look at this COVID crash. It kind of just falls in that same range, right? So that is one signal I look for reversal. Another signal is moving average. So institutional investors or professional traders are really fond of these moving averages. Like some just filter the market using moving average. If it's above, let's say MA50, I will trade it. If VPVR comes under subscription, I think so, yes. But you know what? There might be something, a free version of VPVR. If you come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, seventh tool from the top, there is something called fixed range volume profile. Okay, so you can select it and you can just, let me turn down that. You can just select your range and then it shows you that. So you can change the settings here to match with VPVR. Let's increase the row size, let's say 300. So you get more fine. So you can get something similar. Oops. Right. So you can use this. I love this because it lets me analyze, and you can, I guess, change it from left to right. I love this, and I try to see confluence with moving averages, because you will notice where the volume is coming. Look at this. Near the break, as soon as it breaks moving average, as I was talking, how professional traders like to use this, they're filtering the market. They're thinking MA50 above, we are green. It may be that on weekly, especially, moving average 50 cross is a bullish sign. So they try to get in, they try to spread their entries, and they may not get in at this point. Just they like do some small position accumulation at the bottom, and as soon as they have confirmation, they will place orders. Because just keep in mind, this is a misconception among new traders, that we have to hit the bottom so that we can sell at the top. This attitude will wreck you. You will always lose money if you're trying to find the bottom. Because what if you thought this was the bottom, it went up, you thought, oh nice, market's going up, and it crashed. So you just entered at 7,000 level and you dropped almost 50% from there. So that's why I have kind of stopped buying dips, to be honest. The caveat is, if I love that project, if I believe in that project, if I know that this project has an edge over the market, so I turn down what the price is. If there are significant dips that go even below MA200, I just buy it, because that is the hope, right? Whenever you're putting money, let's say in Facebook or whatever, that is the hope, that if you're dipping, you just want it because it is at crazy discount. I mean, you just look on a weekly chart, if things have gone below MA200, I guess just twice, it has always stayed up. So to me, if we go below this, it's shouting me crazy discounts. I will just buy. So anyway, like, this is how I'm trying to do long-term trading, sort of investing, if you call it position trading. Like, some people misunderstand this by swing trading. Swing trading is only like few days maybe. This, what we are trying to look at, is more like position trading. We hold it for several weeks or months, and I believe that this crypto space. Oops, I had a few people who in the waiting area. Hey, sorry folks, I didn't see the waiting area. I know you were trying to join. All right. So we're just talking about market cycles and what I'm trying to look when we are near bottom, or how am I trying to time the bottom. I'm basically not trying to time the bottom, I'm spreading across the range. But what we're talking here is confluence and confirmation. Okay. So let's say we establish one thing, that moving MA200 is a great discount line. Basically, you have only been on weekly, on BTC, you have only been below that, let's say once or twice or thrice, right? So that is one. But coming back to this volume, um, If you notice just this horizontal level, look at this sell off. The volume has been highest here. Look at this bottom, volume has been highest here. Look at this bottom, volume has been highest here. So that's what, if you have seen Twitter, that's what people are talking about. We are yet to see capitulation candle, the one that liquidates a lot of people, because people think we have formed a bottom and they go crazy on leverage. So 10x, 20x leverage, meaning you kind of take a loan. You only have $100, but you want to enter with $10,000. So whatnot. So obviously we haven't seen signs of bottom forming, and if things go south from here, you will see something like this, liquidation. So people are kind of waiting for that also. That is one sign, at least in historical terms. Uh, but as I said, I'm mainly focusing on moving average. Second thing I'm focusing on is this indicator, moving average, convergence, and divergence. So it's basically two moving averages, and whenever they cross, you get a signal, right? So that's the concept of moving average, convergence, divergence. So I'm combining that with MA50. Look at this. We had confluence here from the volume, right? We have confluence here from MA50, that whenever it crosses this zero, meaning it's bullish crossover. So that is one sign. Another sign, an early sign sort of, is a trend line, because these indicators are lagging indicators, especially moving averages. You see this, the bottom hit here and we got confirmation after. We got confirmation after the price went above 75%. So obviously you can't catch the bottom, but maybe there's a way to optimize and get more percentage. So long-term trend line is sometimes people follow. And again, trend lines are subjective. So I kind of try to not use them too much, because look at this. If you thought this was the trend line and you were here, you thought it broke down, but there is no confluence on MACD. So not using one thing, as I said, try to get confluence. So I will use trend lines where I see confluence. For example, this one here. And when this trend line breaks, I want to see good volume. That is another signal. And a lot of people may not have turned this white line on. I highly recommend to turn this on. MACD is a free indicator. Yes, MD. So what this white line is, it's average, MA50. Okay. So again, for volume, I am using moving average. That I don't want to see this noise, basically, right? This is all up, down, up, down. If you look at it and try to visualize, you may get like confused. So this is a more filtered line, which gives you some directionality. But I'm not using for directionality, I'm using as a support, basically. If things are above that, that means I think there's a good volume relatively. And if things are below that, I personally, even if the patterns are forming, I wouldn't enter trades if things are below this. So that's what's happening here, right? Look at this. Like trading view, this is the app I guess everyone uses. If I go back in time and if we play in real time, let's say, right? We play with some speed. And at this time we had drawn this trend line, it broke. But look at this, not much volume. And it also rejected from MA50. So even if you had, let's say you were new, you had taken a trade here, you should have set some stop loss. Maybe previous high should have been a stop loss. So This is how I'm trading the bottoms or reversals. I'm waiting. And obviously, even after you find confluences, once or twice you will get stopped out because price is still trying to go against you. So that's normal. I mean, but not having stop loss is crazy because like price could drop 70% and then you're still holding. But look at this. There's no volume here. Even though the trend line has broken, there is no volume. I mean, let me speed it up. So this is a good tool, replay. You can go to any bar and just click replay and you can choose speed. So look at this. Again, it broke. There is some volume. Okay. So more of sell volume here, right? And again, MACD has not turned bullish yet. It is turning bullish, right? Look at these histograms. If you see, it's going towards zero. So maybe we may see a bottom forming here, right? Some people like to use this as bottom, which actually, if you think about it, you are nailing the bottom if you're just relying on MACD and this trend line and volume. Whereas you're waiting, you're waiting, you're waiting, you're waiting for MACD line to cross zero. And this is the confirmation we were looking for. This volume breakout, crazy volume breakouts. And it's okay to see these volume breakouts. 6 months ago, I was just trying to look for breakout and enter directly here. Well, you're kind of entering at the top of the range here. So give it some time. It may just retest this area. If not, forget about this trade. You will get opportunity on the next trade or even a next coin, right? So look at this. You got another chance. So you just have to be patient. Even though this was the same level, you know, the market has cooled down and now we could go up from here, let's say, right? Oh no. So in this case, reverse happened. So as soon as you enter here or even here, your trade is trying to go south. So again, a stop loss is important. So because at this present moment, we never know what's going to happen. And then COVID crash happened. So if you had stop loss, you would have stopped out and you would actually have found a better entry. And again, we are not trying to nail the bottom. So this is how I like to trade, Yusuf. Trend line, moving average 50, MACD, confluence, and then final confluence from volume. That, you know, you could either use this zero because technically this is momentum going by momentum going green, right? What this histogram shows is momentum, and momentum is very important. If your sell momentum is decreasing, meaning buy momentum has to increase. So I wouldn't jump obviously at this point because now you see, okay, one or two or three, you're seeing momentum increasing, but I like to wait. I'm okay with late entries as because late entries will give you max benefit in my opinion, because there is less chances of getting stopped out. So if you just follow this trend line, your entry would have been maybe this volume confirmation. So yep, exactly. That's what I was talking about. You could always stagger your entries. You have this confirmation. You start with, let's say, you're going to take a $500 position at this point. Start with $100. See, put a tight stop loss. If it stays above, that's awesome. Then second confirmation here, good volume, MACD crossover, MA50. And I'll tell you, this is how, in my observation, this is how smart money plays. Look at this volume. If you Google Grayscale, Grayscale is a company which has ETFs, if you know. They also have a lot of products. They're trying to come up with different crypto products for institutional investors. And you should look at their average prices for Bitcoin for this cycle. I think what I have seen is around 10K or 11K or something, right? So let me just get rid of this replay. And let's try to look at this VPVR or in case. So where was the bottom? This was the bottom, right? COVID. Oh no, not this. Where is 10K? So if you draw this trend line here, now as I said, trend line is subjective, so use very carefully. You can just draw infinite trend lines. This trend line, I don't like it because it's at the top of MACD. No volume, I don't like it. So this is a nice trend line. Let's delete this, for example. Good breakout, MACD cross. So I will start accumulating from this zone to this zone, right? Let's say. And again, there is another trend line you can draw. This one. So it's at a support. It broke the support with good volume. That's the kind of breakouts you want to see. So this is what I use. And if you ask me, none of these indicators are actually indicators because you are strictly looking at price. And this is in a way price action trading. I'm not looking at RSI at this point. Moving average is just average of price. So the primitive element or the basic element is still price. Here it's volume, moving average of the volume. So you don't even need to take a look at divergence. That's what I think some people were saying in our Discord, Srijan's Discord, that I have been trading Forex since 2 years. I don't use indicators, just use price action. So at least for long term, you can see how helpful this is to enter, right? So now we have entered the market and we want to manage our trade because that's the most important step. You can't just forget. You can just enter and forget. So let's say if this was our range, I don't know if we established this range. Or was it this? Yeah, I think it was this range maybe, right? We need to have some stop loss. So how do you look for stop loss is trying to establish horizontal levels, right? So this was a pivot point, meaning price returned up from here and then tested. So I think this could be a nice support level, right? It got tested multiple times here, here. So yeah, I think so. Maybe this could be a stop loss. And since you are doing long-term trading here, it is okay to have deeper stop loss. So let's say your average was here. You're willing to take 20% loss. Now it might sound like a big loss. You could adjust your risk. It's totally up to you how you want to set your stop loss. You could take this horizontal level, right? If you want to. So this is more reasonable, right? 7% stop loss. But the idea is once this kind of confirmation happens on a weekly, chances of running a bull run is quite high. So for average, let's play this again and see what we could have made here, right? I'm not saying that I did that because I was obviously late in the 2020 market cycle. So I missed all this. So we entered here. Again, we are trying to manage the trade. We had stop loss at 7,000. It didn't hit, it's going up. What few people do, once you have crossed ladders, meaning you have crossed horizontal levels, they like to move this stop loss. Let me draw the stop loss in red. Once you're crossing ladders, they like to see and move the stop loss up, meaning now by moving up, you are higher than your entry or maybe at par. So even if things go south from here, you won't lose anything or maybe some minor profit. So that's the idea of trailing stop losses. So you're just trailing your stop loss up and up as things are moving. So it crossed this level. As soon as it crossed this level and went, it even crossed this level. So you could use two tops, let's say, right? It crossed this level. So you'll bring the stop loss to the previous low, which was previous high, which was this. Now there is no high above this. So you could zoom into the daily and just set stop loss here, right? What this is doing, you will automatically get stopped out with profit. And that's the kind of trade you want to do, right? You want to get stopped down while the market is good, not when the market is going down. So this is one way to manage your trade. Another way is what Streisand does. He sets predetermined targets. So I entered, let's say at 8,000 level, I will take profit at 50% at 1x, 2x. And as soon as he enters, he sets all the targets here. We obviously don't know what's going to hit, but in bull run, you know how Bitcoin does. So if you look at this bull run, it was 169 at the bottom. What's this the bottom? Yeah, 2015. It did almost 100x. This bottom around 3000, it did. Oh, we are in the replay mode. So you know what I'm trying to say is you know what the scale of magnitude. Yep, exactly. You're in the business of investing, not hoping. You know the scale. So this is why a stop loss is totally up to you, but you should have something, right? And as I was saying, we initially started with 7% stop loss, right? But let's say your entry was here. You, let's say, average exited around MA50. Let's say you are a conservative player. You still had 300% upside with just 7% stop loss, right? That is how much? 300 by 7. That is crazy reward to risk ratio, 42 times. That is crazy, insane, right? From that logic, this is why I was saying having a tight stop loss is okay. If you have this level of confirmation, you will only lose maybe once or twice, right? As I was saying, even after having this confluence, you may still get stop loss, but it's not going to happen often, maybe once, twice, right? So now we learn how to enter. Now we learn how to manage our trade, sort of. I didn't cover the management part deeply, but I want to rush actually because we don't have too much time and see how we can exit, right? Now, this is where indicator comes in. That's the only time I guess I use indicator to exit. And this, I'm strictly talking about long-term investing because I think a lot of people, I'm going to have this here so that I see who's coming in. We be long-term investors, let's say most of the people in this call. So that's how we play. We're not day traders because when day trading, the rules are going to be really different. Like, this 20% stop loss is not going to work for you because maybe your target is 20%. So you can't accept same level of stop loss and same level of target because you will end up ruining your account. So coming back to the exit now. Sorry, I want RSI, right? Let's go to daily maybe, right? Now, a lot of people know this term called RSI divergence, or actually, divergence overall. So what divergence is, and there are a lot of cheat sheets available. If you just type uh, RSI divergence cheat sheet, right? You have this cheat sheet. If you are a new person, I would like to use maybe this one. This is more cleaner. So what divergence is, it's diverting with respect to what? Indicator. The price is diverting with respect to indicator, meaning price is moving up, indicator is moving down. That's bearish divergence. So reverse is true. If price is moving below and momentum is picking up, meaning the buy side is picking up momentum, but still there is still hopium in the market that, or actually lack of hopium in the market that the bottom is not in. So this divergence is created by the smart money because they know, they have seen the confluence, and the retail investors are still like, shit, I lost all my money, what do I do? This is when bullish divergence you're seeing. I'm just explaining the sentiment behind it. So let's take a look how we can use bearish divergence. I won't, let's say, cover all the other ones now. Let's keep things simple, right? Now, if you are here, it's very, sorry, if we are at the present time, it's very easy to see, okay, we had higher high here, and RSI was going down. So clear divergence, but it's very difficult when you're doing it real time. Okay, you will double question yourself. So you saw that, okay, there is one peak formed. There is one peak formed. Now my emphasis is to see if price is crossing this level and RSI does not cross. That gives me my first divergence, but I won't exit. Like you heard it, you just 5 minutes ago I was saying a bearish divergence is for exit, and now I'm saying I won't exit. So because in bull run you get fake divergences, price will still keep on pumping because there's lot of sentiment, there's a lot of bull market sentiment. So you see, you had 3 peaks of going up, and when you have 3 peaks, that's when you see the distance between peaks is reducing. So that is kind of like a read between the line kind of thing with divergence. You know, this is what I like to use. I like to see like saturation, right? And 3 peaks is a great strategy. Srijan follows a trader, James Siders, I think he calls this 3 straight pigs. So you see 3 peaks. So this is when I am, so let me go back again, right? We are still here 2 peaks. Now we formed the third peak, still going down. So this is when I'm going to plan on exiting, because remember we on daily, we are seeing 3 peaks. And again, this is just not one strategy because you will not always see 3 peaks, right? Just I'll take a detour. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Yeah, look at this. Here you didn't see that in 2019. Straight away it dipped and it never came up. So this is one of the strategies. I mean, you will develop strategies as you go on, but this is one of them. And you will notice that principle of alternation happens. So if you had a pointed top, the next top is usually rounded, which we are seeing here. So this is how I know how to change strategies. Now, this was sort of still pointed, but still a little bit rounded, but this was still pointed. So principle of alternation typically plays out. You may have heard me saying Elliott waves a lot of times. It's based on that a lot of times. Okay. So coming back, so you'll notice that you actually ended up creating the fourth peak, but I wouldn't have, let's say, waited. So as soon as I see three peaks like these, I will start exiting. And after the third peak, I will exit somewhat, right? Not completely. And again, here you can use moving average for exiting MA50. Let's take a look at how the VPVR does, right? Does it change if we were here? Look where the volume is. It's near this level. So that's just to say how important it is to find confluence between MA50 and VPVR. It's just a good confirmation. And why this happens, my guess is institutional investors love MA50. And this can be confirmed with volume, right? This is just my guess, above average volume at this level, right? Above average level. So this is my exit point. I will start exiting here. So obviously I didn't nail the top in this cycle because I was still learning. Now it's been 1 year, I guess. I have kind of developed and learned these strategies from people, few my modified ones. But yeah, this is how we could have used RSI bearish divergence. And frankly, like you will see a lot of people using Ichimoku cloud, Bollinger Bands and whatnot, this kind of stuff. But if you are not active in the market, look how simple it is just to use simple stuff, like maybe I didn't even draw any horizontal line here. I just relied on volume and price. That's it, right? And you're still able to nail the top. Now, as I said, this rounded top won't always come. So you won't see all these RSI divergences all the time. Let's go back. Also, we are hitting close to 1 hour mark. Oh, no, it's been what? Yeah, 1 hour mark. So in case anyone has questions, feel free. So I will stop and then we can always have multiple sessions next time. So did we see any? So no, nothing here. No divergence. Okay. So what I do is I couple RSI with OBV. So sometimes because I know RSI is not always reliable, right? Every strategy will have a win rate. And RSI, I don't think it has a good win rate. So I like to use both together. OBV is on balance volume, and on balance volume shows weakness better than OBV. Now, this is the only time I'm kind of using a true indicator, RSI and OBV. So you see this point, it was not divergence, but you are seeing that you're going up in price and indicator is sideways. You're going up in price. Let's actually turn both RSI on that. So we can compare. Reduce this. Let's get rid of volume for now. I don't need that. So what's RSI doing when price is going up? It's almost sideways, right? So that is another slight indication, but you won't be able to nail the top like that. So look at this. This was a rounded top, and the next top was peak. So you saw divergence here, but you didn't see here. So that's what I was talking about, alternation. That's what happens. Mostly, right? Mostly is with asterisk. Okay, coming back. So you're looking at price going up. OBV on the other hand, it has showing similar trend. So maybe in crazy trending markets, this could be our conclusion that you may not always see a divergence, a strong divergence, right? This is still divergence. If price is going this way, indicator is going this way, this is a strong divergence. As the angle starts reducing, this is a weaker divergence. So it is still divergence, right? So it's difficult to use this for exit strategy. Yeah, I mean, frankly, there is no divergence forming on either of those. So again, like, just moving average volume, that's my strategy. Let's hide all this. Let's only stick. This is what. No, we were trying to look at 2019, right? So I can just maybe go to, if you don't know this tool, you can also use this button and choose a date you want to go to. 2019, let's say around May. I don't know why it's not going that side. Okay, it is now. Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to see how this volume profile is looking here. Right, look at this. So obviously RSI didn't work here. So let's put our faith on moving average. Okay, I think this VPVR doesn't update dynamically. Aniket, which Indian crypto YouTuber do you watch? I don't watch any of them. I don't follow any of them. I follow just one person, two people actually, and both are from this course, Bitcoin Live. So those are traders, and I like to follow traders, not YouTubers. This Bitcoin.live has, I think, let's see if they show who are there. These are all veteran traders from like Forex markets. So there's this guy, Big Cheds. He has YouTube videos. He explains his setup. You can follow him. His Twitter is very active. I use him. I follow him and Peter Brandt. He's a Forex trader. So as I was saying, there are very few people who just talk about technical analysis in plain simple terms. And these are few of them. I don't follow anyone other than these two because frankly, they're just trying to compare. And like I was trying to show you something actually. I wanted to show you. People come up with charts like this. Man, I think I had something open. Let me see. What I stay away from, I'll show you on Twitter. There might be a lot of people who create great content on YouTube. But for technical analysis, I'm sticking to these two people for now. So this guy had posted correlation between halving and bull peaks. So this is the red line is where halving is happening for Bitcoin, November 2012. So he or she or they're trying to show us the duration of, let's say, breakout. Oh no, sorry, peak and next halving, right? So peak and next halving. So if we think that, okay, halving is when the bull market actually starts, if you just draw a simple trend line, it might be around halving time. So, it's a good thesis, but it misses everything about the current price action because what happens historically will not always happen. So this is kind of hopium based technical analysis, right? That this may happen given you have this historical data. And historical data is good. I like to see it, but that's not I would use to see and predict. Halving is when This is the guy is saying March 2024, right? That's the halving time. According to this person, that's when the bull market will start. Now, if it will really happen or not, no one knows. So I will put the links in CTP. I have actually put the link. Okay, no, CTP link. Yes, I will put the CTP link. I will also put links to these two people. Now, Bitcoin Live has, oh, there's one more person I follow from here, Bob Lucas. So he has great analysis. There might be few free videos by him because this is a paid membership. I was trying to just test it. I liked it, but I have not continued using this. It's kind of expensive, $300 for 3 months. But there was a time in Thanksgiving, they were giving it for $99 for 3 months, so I tried it. So I loved, and I found these three people: Bob Lucas, Big Cheds, and Peter Brandt. So those are the only three people I follow. I'll put the links. You can also follow them on Twitter. They have free content there. But I like to follow uh, technical analysis traders and not YouTubers. Well, from where I can learn TA properly. Aniket, I would say you have to read at least one book if you're talking seriously, because knowing the basics is important. And you saw like I didn't point any indicator, right? Because I know my basics, and this comes from reading a proper textbook for trading, which, and I'm not saying it's a boring one. It's actually really interesting. Technical analysis by John Murphy. This is a great book. It gives you, do you same strategy for stock MD? Uh, I don't do stocks as much yet. I wanted to. I thought I'll be able to have some time for that, but I have not got time. So my stock portfolio is like non-existent, if you ask me. But yeah, this is the book I like. It's really simple. It has a lot of pictures, just so that if you feel sleepy, you can look at the charts. Uh, so it just covers basic stuff. Moving average. Uh, this book work for forex or crypto. This will work for anything because this is basics. But obviously, there are specialized book. Crypto, I don't know if there's a good book for technical analysis on crypto because technical analysis has limitations sometimes when it comes to crypto because we have big whales manipulating the market because of a regulation is not there as much. So you will see TA playing out better for stocks and forex than crypto, and that's why for crypto we have sentiment analysis. So I guess most of you have heard this term called fear and greed index. Alternative.me. Can you share this group? Telegram, likes, books? Yes, I will share them. So this is a fear and greed index. People love this. It just tells where we are in the market. A lot of fear is obviously when there is a lot of sell-off, when we are near the bottom. And if you remember Warren Buffett, like be greedy when others are fearful. So others are fearful right now. So you should be ready with your stable coins and you should be ready to deploy them. Now, obviously, I didn't talk about the current market here. I wanted to touch base on that. But since this is introductory call, I just wanted to do a highlight. Maybe next weekend or so, we'll do a follow-up session. I don't know if I can do this every weekend. Make at least bi-weekly. I'll try to make it my priority. But next time, we will take a look at how actually it is doing. I frankly think it's kind of accumulating at this point. I briefly touched on something that how this downward channel is playing out, and I think we could, based on just this downward channel, maybe we at least touch MA50 from here. Because I talked about mean reversion in the Discord. When price moves too quickly away from an MA50 or any, it has a tendency to come back. So this time it moved too quickly. In this case, look at this, MA50 came down. That's because there was a lot of accumulation. So the moving average kind of got dragged down lower. So if we see that, great. I would love to see this kind of accumulation if this is the bottom. If not, if this is not the bottom, do we have example? I mean, this is one example, not the great. Once it breaks MA50, it kind of has a tendency to test again. So sometime here, I think we also oversold, I guess, on RSI, RV. Yeah, look at this, we oversold here. Another confluence, look at this downward channel and RSI. Whenever there is oversold and we are near this downward channel, we're bouncing. So good confluence, maybe we jump from here. Maybe we just reject from this 33K line, or we go all the way up to 37. My preference is, let's take things step by step. Let's see first how 33K does. Then we'll see if it goes to 37K. But it would be a good time to zoom in and look at smaller time frames if you want to enter using this strategy, right? Look at this. We are near 4. We are at the support of MA50 now. So you could rely on volume and MACD. There is no breakout happening. Look at this. All volume is below this. So I'm still waiting. If I see a good volume candle and MACD again kind of shows bullish crossover, I may enter long with target of maybe 37K. 37K also looks like to be this like horizontal level. So yeah, so I'm not actively trading. Last 2 weeks actually I was trying, but if you are looking for a trade setup and a reversal, you could use this strategy. If you don't want to believe me, test it first. Just use this replay tool. Choose any time frame you want because it works on any time frame, and that's the beauty. You can go to 1 minute and test this strategy. If 1 minute is too crazy, I mean, if you're a new person, I don't recommend doing day trading at all, because it just increases your anxiety. You are in front of your screen, you don't know, you don't have discipline, you click on pressing wrong buttons. So I would say stay away. And it's not a recommendation, it's just my observation. That's why I lost a little bit of money. I was not day trading, I was on real account. I was always doing paper trading here on TradingView with fake money. So yeah, just try maybe on 4 hour, on 1 hour, 15 minutes, it works. MD, I test one strategy 2 days back. I share it at MD Leads. Will look forward for your review. I will take a look. Sorry, I think if I missed it. Was it in Knights of Darrow? Or okay, CSFB. Yes. Oh yeah, MD Leads is there, right? That's good. Sorry, I may have missed it. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at this. But yeah, any questions? I don't want to cover too much in this call. I think we had a good balance. I just wanted to start with the basics and like the history of Bitcoin. I didn't do fundamental analysis. If you are interested, I can post few links for you to read about Bitcoin and stuff. Actually, I have a really nice video. I will post that actually. I have to find it. How Bitcoin works, if you are interested to know, using a really nice demo video. Like what transactions, what are blocks, and how it is possible to, like, how miners verify transactions, right? Do you think they verify all transactions? Um, because the ledger has to be verified at all times, right? And a block consists of a lot of transactions. So if I say I send you 100 bitcoins to MD, I don't have 100 bitcoins, but hypothetically, how would miners verify that transaction? So it's a great demo tool. So I'll send you some fundamentals. I didn't get a chance to talk, but maybe now I know what I covered. Put your feedback in Discord, Telegram. If you want me to cover anything that I may have missed, so I'll tailor my content and also like what I put on Telegram according to that. So yeah, I think that's it. Does anyone has any questions? All right, MD, cool. Well, thanks for posting chats, MD. If no questions, we'll call it a day or call it a night. It's daytime for me. I'm in the US currently, in the West Coast. So great. Yep. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for joining, everyone. See you next time. Till then, good night. Take care.